raising the debt limit by 1.5 trillion or extending it through March 2024, whichever comes first, cutting and capping discretionary spending for the next decade, starting with a $1.47 trillion top line in fiscal 2024 and allowing for 1% annual growth over the following 9 years. Why is the SPY ripping today? That is exactly right. The US House just passed a bill to increase the debt ceiling by $1.5 trillion, and the message here is that it never ends. What is going on, guys? Lottery Stocks here. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the channel if you're new. Today we have a lot of stuff to go over with AMC, so make sure to stay till the end of the video so you don't have to watch another update video here on YouTube. All I ask in return is for you to hit the like button. It helps me out tremendously. Engage the video by dropping a comment, and if I deserve it, please hit the subscribe button. Without further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the SPY is trading at $409.35 at the time I'm making this video, up 1.23% on the day, and it continues to rip. I thought when it came up to this fib retracement zone at 408.50 that we would see at least a slight rejection on the SPY. But of course, since that news came out, the SPY is ripping heads off currently on the day. However, it is touching this ascending overall trend line that we have drawn out, and it could get a rejection anywhere at this level right around 409.20 to 409.40. So just keep that in mind at the time I'm making this video. This thing could get smacked at any moment, and if it does, I would watch to see if it could hold 404 again and make a double bottom or break below even further, but that's something that we would have to map out a little bit down the road. If the SPY doesn't stop, I would watch for a rejection at 412, and if not from there, 415, where we got that double top, so on and so forth. This may affect AMC and GameStop. AMC is trading at $5.51, up 6.17% on the day, and it is following to a T with what we have drawn out for the cycles. With that being said, I think May 2nd of Tuesday of next week, AMC is going to scale up to at least $5.75 after getting a little bit of a retracement on Friday. Monday and Tuesday will be slight scale ups for AMC in my opinion. Following that, next week we have the earnings, and what you would potentially see next week is a dip on that earnings day on Friday, because for one, you know how Fridays look, and for two, just based off of the cycle, you see it in blue, it would drop down to a low before scaling up even higher all the way into early June, and that is essentially the outlook for AMC going forward, at least based off of the cycles, the earnings that are coming up, so on and so forth. Now, GameStop is a beautiful being. We called out the huge rip for earnings. We played that, made a nasty killing on that, especially in Discord, and then we called out right after this happened that this thing is going to gap fill down to $18.30. Well, guess what? This did not gap fill just yet. You can see right here that the gap did not get filled. If anything, the top of the gap to get filled would be at $18.36, maybe getting away with $18.37. This gap, in my opinion, is going to get filled, and we have a Friday tomorrow. That's really all you have to look at. GameStop has been tracking this, what we have up here in gray, and it's getting this little temporary pop that you see within the cycle before scaling off even further. And based off of this, it would come down even lower than that gap fill before getting a sympathy pop on May 5th, which is when AMC has its earnings. AMC and Abe deal hearing confirms AMC shareholders own 97.43% of issued shares. There are actually 3.8 million retail shareholders. The actual retail ownership is 505.8 million shares. The average retail investor should own 133.1 shares. Now, you guys let me know if you at least own 133 shares in the comments down below, or you don't have to disclose, completely up to you. But this is what I find interesting. State of New Jersey Common Pension Fund added 45,178 AMC shares. They're up to 370,000 shares at $1.85 million worth, average cost of $23.10. First owned in Q2 of 2021. This was filed yesterday, and yes, I did confirm it. You can see it right here. State of New Jersey Common Pension Fund shares held 370,847 shares, market value of $1.86 million. Well, this is great, right? This is great. But where and who are they buying from if retail alone owns 97% of the free float? I'll sit and I'll wait for you guys to answer that. Exactly. They are buying fake shares. There are too many shares that are issued, especially if institutions own this big percent and retail already owns basically the entire float, which you could tell based off of the on-balance volume on AMC, GameStop, Bed Bath & Beyond, so on and so forth. Now, before we move on, if you guys want up to 15 free stocks, hit the link under the video, download Moomoo, and make a deposit so you guys can start earning free stocks from there. Not to mention, each of these are valued up to $2,000 per stock, so you are getting a chance at $30,000 for just signing up and making a deposit. It can literally be a penny. Again, that is the top link in the video. Also guys, if you want to know my trades right when I take them and have talks with me on the daily, plus 400 of the most amazing people where we post gains, post losses, get option trading alerts, and more, join the Discord. That link will be right under the Moomoo link as well. Let's get back into the video. AMC starts over last 12 months. Short volume 4.86 billion, while the long volume is only at 3.48 billion. Why is that crazy? It means 1.38 billion shares were shorted and are still out on loan, needed to be bought back. That's not counting 2021. This is literal proof that short interest is in the billions. 2022 saw 300% of the flow borrowed and still not returned, and this number is calculated by assuming all the long volume was used to buy back as much of the short volume it could, meaning it has left out the probability that some of the long volume was simply normal buy orders. If short volume is greater than long volume, the excess amount of short volume gives us the amount of shares that absolutely were not bought back. We can calculate real short interest by adding up the daily excess short volume. This right here should be our main argument and proof of how many billions of synthetic shares currently exist. The data is right here for all to see and can't be argued. But it's not only AMC, also 8 volume doing the same thing. How many synthetic shares do you guys actually think are out there? Touching on the AMC or text numbers, currently what's reported is 26.37% short interest, shares on loan 186 million, utilization maxed out, cost to borrow still sitting in that 350% zone for an average. As for 5.18% short interest, utilization at 52%, and the cost to borrow not being reported again on Ortex. So it'll be like 10% then not reported, 10% not reported. Seems a little fishy, but again, mainly focused on AMC here. Now we have something weird happening with the earnings. All of a sudden, Cinemark now is announcing their earnings on May 5th. This is very interesting because that's when AMC earnings is. Now, what would the reason for this be? And I like AMC Hustle on Twitter, his comment, he goes, I'd assume, just an assumption, a tack that would be used to drive the price of AMC down. AMC reports positive earnings while Cinemark reports negative. Narrative put out that movie theaters are still struggling, driving the price down. Hopefully not the case, but just guessing. Now there's two things that could possibly happen. Cinemark and AMC could announce something together, which is probably on the more unlikely side, or two, this is a tactic just to show the overall narrative that movie theaters are not doing good and they are going to try and justify the price going in a downward spiral, aka shorts taking advantage of it even if buy orders are going through. But you guys let me know what you think about this in the comments down below. We are not done though. Icon Enterprises is officially late in announcing a date for Q1 FY23 earnings in my books. Historically, the company would have announced a date yesterday to be scheduled for next Friday, May 5th. On top of that, FINRA is being petitioned in the Supreme Court of New York for allowing stock spoofing, naked shorting, and market manipulation. FINRA was aware of fraud in the ticker symbol MMTLP and still allowed it to trade. FINRA admits to checking blue sheet data for the ticker 3 to 5 days prior to the regulator halting the stock. Evidence right here as well. You guys let me know if you signed this petition. I'm about to sign it right after this video goes up. Also back to bankruptcy bingo. We now have another bank, FRC, crossed off of the list on bankruptcy bingo. Who is next? For all guys, this is what I got for you for today's video. Hopefully you enjoyed watching or found value out of the video. Should have hit that subscribe button, have post notifications on so you guys don't miss it when I upload another video. The link's down below. Pop in Discord. I love you all. Lottery Stocks out.